I've spent the last 3 days scouring the entire web for not only the best, but also the most underrated survival games. So here are 7 of the best games to play in 2022. Let's get into number 7, Dismantle. As the description says, explore, fight, level up, survive, craft, gather, blah 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 blah. There's a lot to do in this game. It appears pretty much the entire world is just barren, apart from the evil animals that are obviously out to get you. Nature reigns supreme here. Dismantle has some beautiful graphics, a distinct art style, and a pretty easy to use UI. However, the price tag, you ask? Well, it's £15.49 or $19.56, so it's not cheap. In fact, for the price, you'd want to be able to enjoy it for a while. I mean, most $20 games such as Raft are pretty in-depth and allow for you to spend hundreds of hours on them, but the amount of things that you can do in this game, I think makes the price worth it. Number 6, Arid. Released in June of 2021 with the price tag of $0. Yes, it's free. It's brought with it a mysterious exploration experience of the Atacama. Apparently, it's set in the 1930s, and according to the description, this place is one of the driest places in the world. It looks like everything I want in a survival game. I mean, a unique atmosphere, a semi-hardcore experience, and some pretty unique things you need to avoid in order to survive. For example, sunburn? I've never seen that in a game before, but it's features like that make the Arid experience pretty unique. Some key features of Arid are obviously keeping yourself hydrated and well fed, finding abandoned locations to use them as a temporary home, sleeping away the night to save your energy, and you can unlock items such as crafting benches, animal traps, and more within the refuge facilities, which are essentially just built up areas where people used to live, but now it's all yours. Oh, and there are also sandstorms which you have to avoid, so be careful. Trust me, you'll like this game. And of course, on top of all of that, it's completely free. So that's why it's one of my favorites in this list. Number 5, Upstate. Released in May of 2021, it's simply too underrated for me to not include it. The art style is really attractive and reminds me a little of Among Trees with its color palette. However, it's got to be mentioned that the reviews aren't great, and that's probably why it's not very popular at all. However, as this game is in early access, it's got a lot of promise, and not only that, it's receiving active development with the last update being early this year. On top of that, there is also a vague roadmap showing the next update that will actually be in June, so that's literally a month away. It's gonna add copper and iron ore, smelters, and all kinds of forgery things. So yeah, the game is heavily in early access, but don't let that deter you. While there is loads of work for the developers to do on things like collision and the overall feel of the world, it's definitely worth a look. Perhaps keep it on your wish list and look back on it near the end of the year to see how it's doing. That doesn't mean there aren't things to do though. You can hunt animals, find and purchase guns, farm crops, cook food, sell your valuables to shops nearby, and you can even build houses. So you could easily sink hours into this game without even knowing it. Number 4, Dysterra. With its release date undecided, this game can only be played using their demo version. But that's no reason to forget about it. It simply has too much promise for me not to include it. A reasonably unique idea, and more importantly, an active and dedicated development team. Not only is it massively multiplayer, but the game also offers both PvP and PvE, which is something I love. Your main goal is to scavenge places where people once lived to loot guns, much like most post-apocalyptic games, but you can also base build, and that's something I always look for in any survival game. The price of Dysterra is unknown, but it's safe to assume it will cost a small amount of money when it's out in early access, as development really has taken a while, and the dedicated team behind this game, Reality Magic, have honestly put a lot of time into this game, and it shows through the gunplay. It's their main selling point. I mean, the smoothness of fighting and the ability to upgrade your gear in order to protect yourself. But as this game isn't yet released, let's talk about one that is similar to this, but has been out since September of 2021. Number 3, Xera Survival. In my opinion, it's probably one of the most underrated games on Steam, and while some of you may have heard of it, it seems like most people took a look and just labeled it as a copy-paste survival game with no real flair. But for the low price of $0, yes, it's completely free, I think it's worth giving it a go to see if it's your type of game. It has a great base building system similar to that of Rust, pretty realistic and grungy art style, reasonably frequent in-game events, and my favorite feature, massively multiplayer servers, which allow you to play with over 100 other players at once. So yeah, this game can be pretty hectic, so if you're looking for that relaxing experience, this might might not be it. But that doesn't mean there aren't multiple ways to play the game. The main method of gaining gear is to fight other players, but you can also find so-called lethal Zoids, which are AI robots who you can kill for gear and other supplies. And earlier I mentioned base building, and that's actually the biggest selling point for Zera. The fact that you can stash supplies, raid other bases, defend your own base, and do essentially whatever you want. And the best thing, development is super active. Season 6 literally launched half a week ago, which means that now is probably one of the best times to get started. Number 2, V Rising. This time, a game that is no doubt fairly rated. I mean, it has over 17,000 reviews already, and it released less than 2 weeks ago. It boasts fairly enjoyable gunplay and an immersive open world Gothic experience. Not entirely sure what Gothic could entail, but I think vampires are involved. However, the thing that makes this game unique is that you'd never expect it to involve base building, but it actually does. It's important to note that it's not as crazily customizable as other games, but it's still there. The entire point of base building in this game is to protect all of your treasure from the vampire rivals? Yeah, this game has gone past the point of fantasy and has honestly entered its own realm of possibilities. You can probably spend hundreds of hours honing your abilities and mastering your skills, and honestly, this review describes it best. If Diablo meets a survival game. But what about the price? Well, it's £15.49 or $19.56, but that's actually a reason to buy it now, because not only can you refund it pretty easily if you don't like it, but they've actually said that once early access is completed in roughly a year's time, they'll be looking to increase the price. Honestly, I don't think there is a survivor game out there that offers an experience close to what V Rising does, but let's finish on what I think is the most promising game of 2022. Also, if I've told you about a game that you didn't know existed, might as well subscribe to the channel because this is the average Rise subscriber. Number 1, Derelicts. I've never seen a game like this before. It's in heavy development, but there is a Discord that you can join to keep up with the progress, and perhaps even take part in playtests. The only reason I'm including this game, and at number 1 at that, is because of how far in development they already seem to be. There is electricity, smelting, hunting, surviving, base building, so much, and even more to explore. It's like you combine Satisfactory with Rust, and then The Forest, and then Minecraft. It's crazy. But not only that, but the game features an absolute star, the dog. Yes, you can befriend a dog to help you win those difficult fights against some really ugly looking things. But I think it's fair to say that most games like this, ones that seem to feature absolutely everything, often fall short because of crazy bugs or lack of development. However, for some reason, this one feels different. It's important to note that the game will have a price tag, and its release still is unknown, so it's not something you'd be able to play straight away, but it's still worth wishlisting if it looks like your type of thing. So as I said earlier, the Discord is super active, and if you have any questions about the game, that is no doubt the place to ask them. Honestly, with or without a release date, in my opinion, this game deserved the number 1 spot, not only because of the excitement it's given me, but also because of how underrated it is. Not many people know about this game, and that's got to change. But I do think the closer the solo developer gets to releasing the game, the more popular it will become. But if I had to guess the release date, I think early access could quite possibly come late this year. So that counts. Anyways, that's my list. If you enjoyed that vid, watch this one next, and don't forget to join my Discord in the description.